Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing Cheesy Does It on BugForge, which is another SQL injection lab, except this time we're going to be using SQL injection to bypass authentication instead of trying to extract data from the database. So I did another video on SQL injection and went a little bit more in depth than I'm going to here. This is a pretty straightforward lab, but I'll link that other video with the more detailed description about SQL injection and remediations in the description box for this video. So you'll definitely have access to that. It's also up on my channel. Um, but just a quick overview, like I mentioned last time, SQL injection is a vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the SQL query that's being sent from the application to the database. And like I mentioned in the introduction, uh, we're going to be using SQL injection to bypass an authentication mechanism uh, using the basic SQL injection payload that I mentioned last time. So if you consider just a generic authentication query, might look something like this. So select star from users where username is the username that you give it and password is the password you give it. Well, if we look at the uh, basic payload that uh, I mentioned last time, the always true. So basically introducing an always true condition. If we say admin apostrophe or 1 = 1 and then a comment, uh, that query now becomes select star from users where username is admin or 1 = 1 and then a comment. And you see here the rest of uh, the original query is commented out. So the database is no longer considering that part of the query. It's just extra information that doesn't really matter. So all it's seeing is where username equals admin or 1 = 1. And since that statement, the admin or 1 = 1, always evaluates to true, the database says, yep, that checks out. Here you go. Here's your information. Here's your login, and that's fine. So I'll show you exactly what that looks like in the lab. So I've already registered an account. I've gotten logged in here. And if I open this up in another container tab, I use purple. And I'm going to try to log in as the administrator, admin, and admin123. And this shouldn't work, right? And it doesn't. So I got invalid credentials. Well, now if I come over to Kaido and I find that login request, here post to API login, and I look at what it's sending. It's sending this JSON with username is admin and password is password123 or admin123. So if I send that over to replay, and all I'm going to do now, just send that so I have a base. I'm just going to inject that basic SQL injections payload that we mentioned. SQL admin apostrophe or 1 = 1. You don't actually need this little extra dash there. I got into the habit of doing that when I first started out, and it just stuck. Now it's just a habit. But it does illustrate that you need this in a lot of databases, backend database systems. You need this space after the dashes. You don't need it in all of them. Some of them you do. So I just got into the habit of putting it there. just in case anyone's wondering. So now this should be what the database is considering, this admin or 1 = 1. And we send that and we see that it worked, right? So because it was only evaluating this always true condition and I commented out the rest of that query, it never even looked at the password. So we were able to bypass authentication uh, without knowing the administrator's password. So I think this was a good introduction to SQL injection and how to use SQL injection to bypass authentication. Um, there's a lot more that you can do with it, but that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the lab. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.